Have seen in Indian parliaments and in assemblies very often is to just see to it that everyone shouts at the same time for no rhyme or reason. So this was, did they want some answers about the honey trap issue? Did they want some answers? Because 4% Muslim reservation, they've been protesting since day one. We all know this. But what is it that created this? And like you say, in the history of the Karnataka Assembly, 6 months, it's never happened before, Wajiullah.
Absolutely, Sudha. The reason why we're seeing this happen is because they were hell-bent on the idea that the entire honey trap issue should be discussed in the parliament. Yesterday, when the Home Minister had assured them that action will be taken against those, because so far no complaint has been registered, though Rajana has, the minister who spoke about this in the House, apart from that, Jarkioli also spoke about this. Despite the fact there has not been any formal complaint, so when the formal complaint will happen, an investigation will also be resumed with regards to that. That was an assurance that the Home Minister had given, but despite all of that, the BJP wanted a discussion in the House because they believed that the honey trap issue brings a black mark to the state. It questions the state's capability of addressing issues. They also raised a pertinent point saying that those people who've been blackmailed or who've been honey trapped are not normal public, but these are MLAs, MLCs, judges, and close to 48 people, like Mr. Rajana said, and that is why it is more important that the House discusses the honey trap issue than there is a discussion on the budget issue, which was otherwise happening. But the CM, who was supposed to respond in the council today with regards to the budget issue, wanted to respond to that and had said that I will take action against those who are involved in honey trapping, and he had given an assurance to the opposition, but the opposition was hell-bent, and that is when they came to the well of the House, started throwing papers. And in the midst of all this, Sudha, the government also managed to pass 4 to 5 bills with regards to the MLA salary bills, the allocation bills. So while all this was happening, the BJP was protesting at the well of the House, which irked the speaker, because after close to 3 or 4 adjournment, they had continued to protest at the well of the House, creating a chaos at the situation. That is when the marshals were called in, and as our viewers can see on the screen right now, those marshals picked up the ministers one by one, and 18 of them have been suspended. Now this suspension that we are seeing is for 6 months. In the next 6 months, whatever these people will say will not be taken into record, and the TADA has all been cancelled, which is the daily allowance and travel allowance. All these things have been cancelled, and they have been suspended for the next 6 months. So that's something that Karnataka has never seen before.
You know, you were also talking about R. Ashoka, the revenue minister in Bommai's government. What was his role today? I mean, very senior, is LOP. I want to hear from you, considering you witnessed all this, Wajiullah.
Well, it was learned that R. Ashok had got instructions from the central minister that this issue has been something that has created a lot of attention in the eyes of the public, and they should go ahead asking the governments more pertinent questions with regards to honey trapping, and that was conveyed to both the assembly and the council by the leader of the opposition, and he wanted this discussion to go on, and that is why he had even urged his MLAs in the council to make sure that they continuously corner the government with regards to the honey trap issue, and that was something that the BJP was hell-bent on, and they wanted a discussion on this. Well, the government, on the other hand, had made it clear that I am giving assurance, and that assurance when a complaint would be filed, and we will investigate. An SIT team was formed in the House itself yesterday when Parmeshwar said that I will form an SIT and make sure that those people will be named. While all this while, we would be hearing the opposition time and again making statement that it is learnt that people of the government itself are trapping their own ministers, and all these kinds of statements were also coming out from the opposition leader, and that is when the chaos started erupting more and more often. The BJP, on the other hand, stormed to the well of the House. They even targeted the speaker. They started throwing stones and papers to the speakers. They started blocking him, stopping him from speaking, and that is when the speaker, who got agitated after close to 3-4 adjournments in the assembly, he then decided that it's high time that he will take an action, and then suspended 18 of them. And in that, R. Ashoka, who's the leader of the opposition, he was one of the people who had urged his ministers to keep the issue alive and ask the pertinent questions that have to be asked, while the government, on the other hand, had made it clear honey trap issue now because it has already been discussed in length yesterday and assurance has also been given to the people of the house. So now it is more important that they go ahead with the budget discussion that has been going on because today was most probably the last day and there are a lot of other questions. The CM was supposed to respond and the council, and that is why the chief minister also got agitated with the chaos that was happening, and he also reiterated that how can I answer the people their issues when such chaos has been erupted in the house.
Absolutely, he's we can see the chaos. Vaji, do stay on with us. Let me first let's tell our viewers that we are trying to get you as much information as to that chaos that you see on your screens right now inside Karnataka Assembly. Let's listen into what MB Patil had to say, and then we get back to my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah.
Unbecoming of our members to behave like that. They were standing next to the swan and all this. They did everything.
So we sought protection from Chief Minister. We sought protection from Honorable Speaker. You wanted the respect to be protected. So in this regard, when BJP and JDS MLA protested, the Speaker has suspended our 18 MLAs. This is totally undemocratic. It is totally undemocratic. My first question is, when your own minister, when the ruling party's senior MLA and a senior minister has demanded probe into honey trap issue, why Chief Minister is hesitating? Why is he hesitating to give it to a probe? Bharatiya Janata Party, we have demanded a CBI investigation or by a judicial inquiry by a sitting High Court judge. This is our demand. But Chief Minister and Home Minister, they have not given any clarity regarding the probe. The Chief Minister is trying to run away from this episode. The issue is, it is not the question of the respect of two ministers. Now the issue is, this question is regarding all 224 MLAs. Because the minister himself has claimed more than 48 MLA and leaders belonging to both state level and national level, they have been the victims of the honey trap. This was a claim made by the minister himself. So our demand is justifiable, it's totally justice. We are seeking a CBI probe. So instead of protecting his MLAs, instead of protecting his ministers, Chief Minister is running away or shying away from handing over the matter to the investigation. So we urge or demand Chief Minister to give the matter for CBI investigation. Whereas the Speaker's decision is concerned, it is unfortunate. Being the Speaker of the House, it was his duty to protect the interest of all 224 MLAs. Rather than coming to the rescue of our MLAs, even Speaker chose to fall in line with the ruling party. This is very unfortunate and totally undemocratic.
Will you be going to the governor right now? Going to the governor right now? Next 6 months.
We will discuss with all our senior leaders. We will meet Honorable Governor also, and what should be the future course of action. We'll discuss and we'll take a final decision. We'll discuss, yes, we'll be meeting our governor.
All right, the honey trap issue, of course, is not new to Karnataka. There have been several other instances, but seems like that was the main trigger for what is unfolding in front of you on the screens right now. High drama inside Karnataka Assembly. 18 BJP MLAs have been suspended for 6 months. This is unprecedented. For 6 months, they have been suspended for disrupting the proceedings. And like I said, first time in State Assembly. So let's go across to my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah to discuss this even further. Waji, we saw that Vijendra very clearly said that it is taking away our democratic rights. We, the BJP, as well as JDS MLAs who wanted to protest so far as the honey trap event is concerned. The thing is that, tell us, he alleges, Vijendra alleges that the speaker just decided to remove these 18 MLAs. But for those viewers who've just joined in, just take them through what exactly unfolded in the assembly today.
Well, yes, we all heard Vijendra. He categorically said that it was their constitutional right to ask those questions to the government of the House and ask them about the honey trap issue and how their own MLAs, the government's MLAs have only been complaining about it. It's not the opposition that had complained with regards to their ministers getting honey trap, but it was their own leaders who had pointed out this pertinent issue. Question that we were raising, because the government had set an SIT and the SIT is not something that we want. We want a CBI to investigate this entire matter, is what Vijendra said. But the government on the other hand, and the floor of the House had assured both the houses, both the parties of the House, both JDS and the BJP, that an SIT probe will be initiated as soon as the complaint is filed, and so far no complaint has been filed. And while all this was happening, we've seen BJP leaders time and again asking for questioning in the House with regards to the entire honey trap issue, which the Speaker had made clear that the House has already responded. The Chief Minister is speaking. While all this was happening, the BJP leaders were hell-bent, and that is where they started cornering the Speaker at the Assembly. Now, if you asked, and today they are disappointed with the fact that the constitutional right has been taken away. When if you ask the same thing to the BJP Congress leaders who've seen the suspension, they are saying that what the Speaker did is something which is right, because they were creating chaos in the House. They were not letting the business of the House to continue. There were pertinent issues that were supposed to be spoken about. The Chief Minister was also speaking, and at a time like this, if they create chaos, tear the bills and all the documents that are kept at the House, that is when the Speaker had to take a decision, and all this Congress leaders have applauded the Speaker for taking a stand and suspending 18 leaders who had created this ruckus in the House. So while the BJP is mourning the suspension of their 18 leaders, the Congress on the other hand has applauded the Speaker, saying that what he has done is right, because they had tried to create disorder in the House, tried to create chaos while discussions on the budget was going on, while the CM was also speaking. So these are a few things that we are witnessing, but what is more disappointing is that the House today will get suspended because without any business, and that is a loss for the people who are watching their leaders who have been elected and brought to this House to bring some change. And what
All
we
right.
see is
Vaji, let me also get our other colleague Gautam Shankar into this conversation. You please stay with us, Vajiullah. But first up, ladies and gents who are watching the South Indian, look at those visuals. High drama inside Karnataka Assembly. 18 BJP MLAs have now been suspended for 6 long months, and this is unprecedented in the history of Karnataka Assembly. First time in the State Assembly that MLAs have been suspended for 6 long months, and what that means is that these suspended MLAs cannot participate even in standing committee meetings, and that's also a major blow. Just see those visuals before we go across to my colleague Gautam Shankar for more on this.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಬರೀ ಸರ್ ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಭಾರತ್ ಮಾತಾ ಕೀ ಗೌಡ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ
All right, we are getting a bite of CT Ravi, very senior leader of the BJP. Let's listen in.
सीनियर मिनिस्टर उन्होंने आपादन किया हनी ट्रैप का ट्रैप में जस्टिस लोग भी है, सीनियर ऑफिसर्स है, विधायक है, मंत्री लोग है, उसको ट्रैप करने के लिए एक नेटवर्क है, उसको पीछे बड़ा आदमी है, ऐसा उन्हें आरोप किया। आरोप करने के बाद जांच करने के लिए आदेश किया है क्या? हमने क्या डिमांड किया? हमने डिमांड किया सीबीआई इंक्वायरी करो, हमने डिमांड किया जस्टिसों के नेतृत्व में इंक्वायरी करो। उसमें गलती क्या है? वो आसान विषय है क्या? मुद्दा छोड़ सकता है क्या? छोटा मुद्दा।
वो कह रहे हैं जिस तरह से पेपर फाड़े गए,
हाँ, हनी ट्रैप कर सकता है, आप पेपर फाड़ नहीं सकता।
आगे किस तरह से लेके जाएंगे?
ये हमेशा कांग्रेस पार्टी डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यू को करप्ट किया है, आज भी ऐसा किया है।
तो अगला मुद्दा, अगला स्टेप क्या होगा सर बीजेपी की तरफ से? आप लोग
हम लोग चर्चा करेंगे, विपक्षी नेताओं के साथ हम चर्चा करके, प्रदेश अध्यक्ष के साथ चर्चा करके हम उस मुद्दा लेके जाएंगे, जनता के सामने लेके जाएंगे। हम मुद्दा निर्णय के खिलाफ हम संगठित संघर्ष करेंगे।
All right, so there you saw C.T. Ravi saying that, well, it seems like it is all very well to speak about honey trapping, but it is not right to kind of, throw paper, because that's also a way of protesting. So one party against the other. What is the result? 18 BJP MLAs have been suspended for 6 long months. This happens, this unfolds in the front of people who've elected the same representatives who sit in the Vidhana Saudha. They are sitting there in the assembly and making decisions for you and I. This is the scenario which has unfolded. Look at that. Very senior members, marshals are carrying them out because of the ruckus, because of the chaos, because of the disruption which was witnessed today in the Karnataka Assembly. And what was the trigger? The honey trap thing, where Rajanna got up and said several leaders, several MLAs and MPs have been one time or the other faced honey trapping. Let me now go across to Gautam Shankar for more on this. Gautam, the trigger is now very clearly, because when we started this conversation, Gautam, Vajji said it could be 4%, reservation for Muslim. That is not the issue. It is very clear. You listen to Vijendra, you listen to C.T. Ravi. It is all about the honey trapping case. What are you picking up on the ground? Gautam Shankar, go ahead.
Absolutely, Sudha. So it is absolute pandemonium in the Karnataka Assembly, the likes of which we have rarely seen in the Vidhan Saudha here. Now 18 BJP MLAs being suspended for disrupting assembly proceedings. And the ruckus was, like you rightly pointed out, it was over the honey trap scandal. That was the main primary issue. The BJP leaders were seen tearing papers, showcasing CDs, and also storming the well of the house and demanding justice as well. And while we can say that, okay, fine, the BJP is being unruly and, they should be disciplined, but suspending them for 6 months, that is what kind of a move is that? That is something that needs to be questioned, because keep in mind, after this budget session, there is the winter session of the assembly that will come up as well, which means that these 18 MLAs will not be part of the decision-making process that time. And already we are seeing amidst the pandemonium, multiple bills are getting passed, because we understand that Congress does have the numbers, but the opposition plays a key role in all of this. But to see this kind of visuals where the MLAs are being carried out of the assembly by marshals, it's something unprecedented that we are seeing. And we are seeing senior leaders that we are seeing here. Opposition whip Dodana Patil is there, Ashwath Narayan, S.R. Vishwanath, Basraj Patil, and Suresh Gowda, and also a few other names that I'm picking up here, including Monoratna as well, and Dheeraj Muniraju was also carried out. This is very, very disturbing to see the MLAs, elected representatives, being ushered, not just ushered out, they are being carried out of the Vidhan Saudha. This is something that it will set a precedent for how should be conducted. And what we understand is, as per the suspension order, these members will be barred from attending the assembly hall also, even the lobby and galleries, and they will also be prohibited from participating in any sort of meetings of any standing committees, and from having any subject or matter listed in the assembly agenda under their names. So that is the kind of impact we are seeing here because of this honey trapping row that we are seeing here, Sudha.
With the standing committee to be sitting out of that is also a major kind of a problem, I mean, if the opposition is kept out of the standing committee meetings because of this behavior, it's a double whammy. 6 months is a very long time, you know, in the life of a politician, and particularly when whether you belong to the opposition or you belong to any other party. Now, my whole point is, also Gautam, a lot of people are asking me on WhatsApp that how come when G. Parameshwara yesterday got up and said, we will form an SIT. And also when, you know, the Chief Minister himself spoke about it, how come this protest unfolded? But wait a minute, Gautam and ladies and gentlemen, let's listen in to more voices. Go back to my colleague Gautam Shankar on the issue.
Unbecoming of our members to behave like that. They were standing next to the Swan and all this. They did everything possible, violated everything possible things in that assembly. So they have been expelled from this.
So you find it a justified step?
This is
The Speaker has suspended our 18 MLAs. This is totally undemocratic. It is totally undemocratic. My first question is, when your own minister, when the ruling party's senior MLA and a senior minister has demanded probe into honey trap issue, why Chief Minister is hesitating? Why is he hesitating to give it to a probe? Bharatiya Janata Party, we have demanded a CBI investigation or by a judicial inquiry by a sitting High Court judge. This is our demand. But Chief Minister and Home Minister, they have not given any clarity regarding the probe. The Chief Minister is trying to run away from this episode. The issue is, it is not the question of the respect of two ministers. Now the issue is, this question is regarding all 224 MLAs, because the minister himself has claimed more than 48 MLA and leaders belonging to both state level and national level, they have been the victims of the honey trap.
All right, so those are the visuals, the most dramatic story, if one might say. Today, I also need to thank my colleague Gautam Shankar for having joined us and putting things in perspective. Those were visuals. This story is not going away. 18 BJP MLAs suspended for 6 long months. I'm taking a break here, ladies and gentlemen, and those watching the South Indian. I am coming back, and this is for those who live in Bengaluru. Guess what? Bengaluru Metro's next move, cargo transport. Can it help recover revenue losses? That's the big question.
$2.5 lakh strong legacy and counting. Join the big league with the XUV 700 with celebratory offers up to ₹75,000.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every seam, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Is life transactional by any chance?
Everything in the creation affects everything else.
I think the existential question that all of us grapple with, that who am I?
From being somebody to becoming nobody is the first step in enlightenment.
Watch Duologue with Barun Das at these times on News 9.
We made
history for a reason tonight.
Will it change the shape of American foreign policy? Violence has erupted in Manipur once again. How can we pass judgment, sir, before any inquiry that, they were volunteers or militants, sir?
All right, welcome back. You're watching News 9 and you're watching the South Indian on the News 9. This is it, the story. The story which concerns Bangaloreans, concerns all of us actually, to cut losses. Namma Metro now to carry cargo. Will it be able to kind of, cut back its losses? That's the question that we are asking. Bengaluru Metro is about to take a new turn, change track. From passengers to parcels. After a steep fare hike that left commuters fuming, BMRCL is now exploring cargo transport to offset revenue losses. And what's the plan? Well, utilizing non-peak hours to carry cargo, partnering with logistics and e-commerce companies to move goods. Before the big hub for this operation, well, it's going to be Baipannahalli. BMRCL is eyeing it as the central point to streamline urban logistics, aiming to cut congestion, lower pollution and maximize efficiency. Now, Metro Chief M. Maheshwar Rao has said that discussions with private logistic firms are already in place, it's going to work and there is a roadmap. And also they're saying that we are trying to kind of follow the Delhi Metro playbook and see to it that if they can do it, why can't we? Bengaluru could soon see the last coach of select trains converted for carrying cargo, but during off-peak hours. But that's not all. BMRCL is on a mission to boost revenue from every possible avenue, from advertisements inside trains to train wrapping to co-branding metro stations, and they are pushing really hard for financial stability. With 10 trains already set to feature full body ads and station branding tenders ruling out, BMRCL is making it very clear it's all about money, it's all about being able to sustain. So will this cargo experiment be the game changer for Bengaluru Metro, or it's just another stopgap so that they can make ends meet? I know that sounds harsh, but maybe that's the reality. Let's go to the experts. Sandeep Aniruddhan, convener, Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru, and Professor Ashish Verma, convener of the Sustainable Transportation Lab at the Indian Institute of Science, and he's joining us on the phone line. Let me go to Professor Verma. Professor Verma, thank you so much. I heard you're traveling, but you took your time out to be able to speak to us. I was thinking of you when I read this. How feasible is this, Dr. Verma? I mean, my basic question is that this Namma Metro is for the benefit of you and I, that it is making profit. We had a conversation that why should it be making huge profit? It's not like a factory which has been set up. On top of that, now to do cosmetic surgery in this fashion, do you think this is going to work at all? And what kind of an impression does it create, Professor?
Yeah, so I of course don't know the full details of how they want to take care of transporting logistics, but I mean, it's not a bad idea, at least in the immediate run, to basically ramp up some revenue. I've been always saying that non-fare box revenue sources should be utilized as much as possible. Of course, it doesn't mean that the onus on government to subsidize and allow affordable operations of public transport is not something that government should not focus.